Hey everyone, so in this video it is a dupes video because at Christmas I went and bought myself the Sultry palette, and before that you will have seen in a haul I bought myself the Seduced palette by W7, and I think they look a little similar. So yeah, I thought let's do a dupes video, which is what we're going to do. The W7 palette is more multi coloured glitter and you can feel it, whereas the Sultry palette is more bronzier and it's a very soft texture, so you can tell the difference in price through that. My dog just wants to climb across me. And the Sultry palette is much more heavier, whereas the W7 palette just feels like very light in comparison. So yeah, let's open it up. So the W7 palette, when you open it up, has a nice little mirror and then all these lovely shades and a little brush. The brush has a flat end and a fluffier end, and I always keep these brushes because they always come in handy, the flat ends. Then the ABH palette actually is in a box. When you open the box, it's got the same bronzier colour. You can feel it a bit, like the texture a bit more, but you can't. It's not nitty gritty. So the box is really soft, and this has a little bit more texture to it. When you open it up, you've got a mirror again. You've got all these shades here, and then a brush by Anastasia. I actually didn't say that the ABH palette is by Anastasia, and the brush has like a fluffier flat end. It's not as stiff, and then a fluffy kind of transition brush. And so yeah, and it actually has Anastasia written in the middle there. At the top you have the W7 palette, and at the bottom we have the ABH palette, and literally colour for colour they look exactly the same. I don't see any difference in the shades. It's got, maybe this one's a little bit darker, this one's a little bit darker down here. The black it's much more darker in the ABH palette. Yeah, it's the same tones, it's just the ABH one looks so much more vibrant. So I'm going to do a close-up for you. So again, the W7 at the top and the ABH at the bottom. For the purpose of this video, I am going to do some live swatching. So I'm going to swatch some of these colours next to the duped colours. So we're going to start with like the ABH colour here, and then underneath I will be putting the W7 colour. Let's hope I don't mix them up. So we're going to start with the first shade called Lace in the W7 palette, and then underneath that it's called Fresh in the ABH palette. It's really hard to see, but I feel like the ABH is more of a tan colour, whereas the W7 is more of like a white colour, just pale white. And we're going to go into Oyster, which is W7, and Pearl, which is Anastasia. So this is Oyster and this is Pearl. Pearl is much more pigmented straight away. This one seems like it has loose glitter, whereas this one kind of glides, the ABH one. So in the W7 we have Champagne, and then in the ABH we have Steampunk. You can see the difference. It's a bit crumbly, this colour in the ABH palette, but like nothing fell anywhere, like I just dabbed and it was fine. So much more pigmented. In the W7 palette we have Strawberries, and then we have Rose Quartz. Again, ABH is so much more pigmented. So in the W7 palette we have Allure, and then in the other palette it is called Ember. This one seems more green and this one seems more bronze. Don't know if you guys can see the difference there. And in W7 we have Aphrodisiac, and in the Anastasia it is called Bloom. So the Anastasia looks so much more darker, and the W7 looks more of like a coral colour. W7 we have Silk, and in Anastasia we have Burke, and it's so much more pigmented. So we've done the top row, now I'm going on to the second row. So in W7 we've got Desire, oh I like that, and then we've got Cinder in ABH. Again, the ABH one is just a little bit more standout-ish. Then we have Touch and Twig. Again, ABH just a little bit more pigmented. Vamp and Dystopian. Again, remember this side is ABH because soon I'm going to forget. Licit and Twig. Ooh. This is Temptation and Cyborg. Look at that. I like the ABH one better. Then we have Must and Slate. And then the last one, which is the black colour, which is Fishnet in W7 and Noir in ABH. Wow, that is ABH. So this is W7, not too bad. So you know when some people say they can never find a good black? I think that black is deep enough. So these are all the swatches. Again, W7, ABH. ABH is just that bit more pigmented. Wow. I do think that I got this one on offer in TK Maxx for what? $4.99? And then the other one was, I got on offer for 30 something pounds in Beauty Bay, which is the Sultry one. I think we're just going to get into the tutorial, just because I feel like that's how we know if something works or not. So let's just get into that first, and I'm going to start with W7 on this eye and ABH on this eye, and let's just see what we create. So from the ABH palette, I'm going to go in with the shade Birch, which is here, and then from the Sultry palette, it is called Silk. So this is the ABH one first. Now the W7 side. My brush is stained. Oh wow, there's a lot of kickback in the pan, and not much is happening on my eye. Oh, here we go. You just need to really build it up. So yeah, as I was saying, on the W7 side, you really got to build it up, whereas on the ABH side, you don't. Kind of similar. This is more brown. Oh, I think a bit of the pigment from my last colour actually got on there. Never mind. What I will do is not use that brush again. And then from the Anastasia palette, I'm going to take this colour Twig just underneath it. Very powdery. Very pigmented. I'm going to use the other brush just to blend out the edges. And then from the Sultry palette, I'm going to take this shade here called Twig. Oh, no, Touch. Very similar, just not as pigmented, but very high in pigment. And from the ABH palette, I'm going to take this shade called Dystopian. Then I'm going to take Vamp from the W7 Sultry palette, which is this shade here. I actually don't like that cool tone colour. I wish I never used it. It's very pigmented. They look very similar in my eyes. For each eye, I'm just going to take the transition shade again just to blend out the edges. So for the ABH, it is called Birch. I just really don't like that I used that cool tone colour. And for the shimmer all over my lids, I feel like taking this shade here called Teak, which up here on the W7 it's called Illicit. Oh, there was a lot of fallout. This brush ain't the best. I'm going to go under my eye with Dystopian, and in the other palette it's called Vamp. And blend it out with some Birch. And for the inner corner and highlight, I'm going to go for this shade called Pearl, and in the other palette it is called Oyster. And I'm just going to use a little brush for that. So I actually have this W7 Strobe Time Vivid Glow highlighting kit, and I'm going to take this highlight down here for the rest of my face. So I do have my W7 lip collection here, but I feel like a red would really set this off, so I'm going to use a red from another collection, another brand, so I'll be back. And once I've put the red lipstick on and done my mascara, I will come back and give you my final thoughts. Okay, so I have finished off the rest of my makeup. I didn't have a red lipstick by W7, or Anastasia, but the deepest red I could find was this lip liner in Brick House by NYX, which is on the floor, and Past Midnight, which is this Life on the Dance Floor lipstick by Revolution, and it's just this red here, which is what I thought would go brilliant with this look, especially like the black and white polka dots. I would suggest going out and buying the W7 palette, just because the Anastasia palette is like usually what, like £46 or something like that. I got it on offer for 30 something. It is an amazing palette though, so if you do have the money to spend, go and spend it, or ask for it for a gift or something like that. As a look, like, I can't tell the difference. I don't know if you guys on camera can, but I feel like they look really, really similar. I must admit, like, the highlight from the W7 palette is much better than the highlight from the Anastasia under my brow bone. I just, personal preference really. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this little dupe video, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.